So, Oliver, all kinds of enthusiasm led by the wheat market here. This seems to be totally related to what's going on with concerns about supplies coming out of Eastern Europe. Is that correct?
That's 100% correct. The Black Sea region, obviously, tensions between Russia and Ukraine put a big bid in the market last week, rallying us just about 50 cents. We were weaker in the overnight session and early morning session, but buyers stepping in ahead of that uncertainty. Now, there's still risk to the upside that those tensions could escalate, but there's also equal, if not greater, risk to the downside if things do get resolved over there. And that could potentially have bearing on the other grain markets, specifically corn. You can see corn working off the lows right along with wheat today and threatening a technical breakout, which is still encouraging for the bull. 620 is a big resistance pocket above there, and you might see some momentum traders pile in and push this market higher. And you briefly touched on some of the outside markets where there's a lot of carnage, looking at crude oil down a couple bucks, the S&P down 2.5%. All in all, I think these grains are holding relatively well, and I think a lot of that, as we first touched on, is that tension in the Black Sea region between Russia and Ukraine elevating the wheat market and dragging corn along with it. Soybeans struggling a little bit, but with the way the outside markets are trading, all in all, doesn't seem like too bad of a morning.
So the Commitment of Traders report, they show that the managed money funds lightened up on their long positions on corn. But I'm showing we're still long about 326,000 contracts on the corn. This is by the managed money funds, and that's still a pretty hefty long position yet.
It is a massive position, and this goes all the way back to almost a year that they've had this massive net long position. Typically, when you get funds over 300,000 contracts, it's a couple week event, and then eventually they liquidate it. But they've been defending their long position. They got their limits expanded last year, so there is room for them to add. But it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out between Russia and Ukraine, and also the outside markets. If things over in the Black Sea subside a little bit, you might start to see some profit taking from those funds.